Heartwarming twist, poor girl disguised as sister leads to life-changing connection with CEO dad. Emma stood in front of the mirror, heart racing as she adjusted the strap of her borrowed dress, the shimmering fabric catching the light like 1,000 dreams. Tonight was her chance. Her chance to meet the father who had left her and her mother scrambling to make ends meet in their small apartment. The thought of him, a powerful CEO, living a life of luxury, flickered in her mind as she clenched her fists. She was ready to step into that world, to find answers, to confront the man whose absence had loomed over her like a shadow. With every step toward the charity gala, Emma could feel the weight of her gritty reality pressing down on her, but the excitement of change pulsed in her veins. She imagined the laughter wrapping around her like a warm hug, the decor sparkling like stars. All she needed was one chance to connect. Maybe, just maybe, if she could pull off this disguise, pretend to be the forgotten twin sister she never knew, the walls between them would come crashing down. As she walked into the venue, her breath hitched. The chandeliers glimmered like diamonds, and the smell of fine food drifted through the air. Everywhere she turned, people clad in elegant outfits laughed and chatted, seemingly unaware of the struggles of everyday life. Uncertainty twisted in her stomach, but hope lit a fire in her heart. She was here now. She could do this. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The night unfolded, and Emma lost herself in the elegance of it all, smiling and talking, letting the illusion of wealth wash over her like golden sunlight. But every effort felt like a tightrope walk. A fellow guest pointed and whispered, "You look just like her, I mean, just like my friend, Grace." Anxiety zipped through Emma, tightening her chest. Would this folly expose her, shatter her dreams? Yet, just as the murmur grew louder, fate intervened. Through the throngs of people, her eyes locked onto a tall figure, unmistakably her father. Pain and longing rushed through her veins. He carried the weight of her dreams on his shoulders, a living testament to the life that could have been. Panic seized her thoughts. What would he see when he looked at her? Would he see the girl fighting for something better, or just a stranger in a borrowed dress? Emma could hardly breathe as she raised her chin, determination settling deep inside. Her heartbeat synchronized with the elegant music that filled the hall, drowning out everything else. This moment could either bridge the gap or widen it further, plunging her deeper into the shadow of disappointment. Would she be recognized, or would her courage dissolve like mist? As she stepped forward, ready to confront the reality of who she was and what she had fought for, doubt crept in. Would he embrace her struggle or dismiss her as just another face in the crowd? The air was thick with potential, laying the groundwork for the encounter that would forever change her life. As Emma took a deep breath, she tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear, summoning every ounce of courage she had. Her heart thundered in her chest as she approached her father, the crowd fading away until it was just the two of them. She could see him more clearly now, his sharp suit and polished shoes, details that screamed confidence and success, but there was something almost vulnerable in the way he held himself, like he was looking for solace in the chaos of the evening. When he noticed her, the world spun in slow motion. His brows furrowed in recognition, and for a fleeting second, she saw confusion flicker in his dark eyes. Had he sensed the likeness? Did he feel the pull of an invisible thread that connected them? "Grace?" he asked, his voice low, yet it cut through the noise like a dagger. Every instinct warned her to turn back, to run. But she stood firm, heart racing harder than ever. "Dad?" The word felt foreign, stitched from longing and hurt, yet oddly familiar. His gaze turned softer, confusion melting into curiosity. She could see the gears turning in his mind, grappling with the consequences of his past. The moments they might have shared flooded her thoughts, a haunting reminder of every birthday missed and every milestone she trod alone. "Is that really you?" He asked again, almost incredulously. After all this time Emma nodded, holding her breath. This was it, her opportunity to explain, to pour out years of unanswered questions. "It's me, I came to find you." Just then, a voice broke through the tension. "Daniel! Over here!" A stunning woman in a sleek gown beckoned him with a bright smile, and Emma felt her heart sink a little. He hesitated, glancing between the two of them. Would he choose his new life, a wife, status, reputation, or would he acknowledge the daughter he left behind? A whirlwind of emotions cascaded through Emma. It wasn't just about her, it was also about him. Did he even want to face the reality he'd abandoned? She had stepped out of her comfort zone, porcelain hopes shattered only to see just a glimpse of what she longed for. "Can we talk?" She blurted out in desperation, the words tumbling from her lips before she could catch them. "Please." His eyes widened. The facade of the perfect evening began to crack. We can't let this end here." She could feel the eyes of the guests shifting toward them, tension permeating the air like static electricity. But in that moment, all she saw was the man from whom she had spent a lifetime seeking approval. He glanced back at the woman, his jaw tightening. Emma could see the inner struggle, like a storm brewing within him. He took a deep breath, hands clenching to fists. "All right, let us find somewhere to talk." Relief poured through Emma, but a new wave of anxiety washed over her. What would she say? What could she say to bridge the chasm of the years that had passed? As he led her away from the crowd, the pounding of the music faded, and all she could hear were the whispers of her heart urging her on. Was this the moment she had been waiting for? Would their reunion bring forth the healing she hoped for? And as they stepped into a quieter corridor, the weight of years loomed large. Everything felt fragile, like glass, ready to shatter with just one wrong word. "Emma," he said softly, as they stopped, "what have you been through?" The question hung in the air, heavy with possibilities. But before she could respond, another figure loomed around the corner, and Emma's breath hitched again, her heart racing with dread. Would she still have a chance to unfold her story, or would this unexpected twist change everything? Emma's heart raced as she turned to face the new figure stepping into the corridor. It felt like the universe was holding its breath, waiting to see how this moment would unfold. The new arrival was a tall man, casually dressed, a marked contrast to her father's polished look. He radiated warmth, and for a moment, his presence dimmed the storm brewing inside her. "Daniel!" he exclaimed, breaking into a smile that seemed genuine and free of the tension hanging in the air. "I thought I might find you here." His gaze shifted to Emma, curiosity sparking as he assessed her. "And who do we have here?" Emma swallowed hard, feeling small under the scrutiny of a stranger. I'm Emma," she stumbled, unsure how to introduce herself. The weight of her truth felt almost suffocating, as if revealing her identity would tip the delicate balance of the world she had just stepped into. "Emma," her father repeated, an odd mix of recognition and confusion flitting across his face. "You're his daughter," she finished, her voice stronger than she felt. "I've been looking for you." The newcomer, who was clearly familiar with her father, looked back and forth between them, his expression shifting from perplexed to intrigued. "Excuse me, Daniel, do I have a story to catch up on?" Emma felt her father's tension spike again as he glanced at the stranger. "This isn't the time, Jake." His tone was sharp, but she caught a flicker of desperation in his eyes. "Telling her who you are isn't a choice anymore," Jake responded, crossing his arms with a knowing look. "If she is your daughter, you can't just pretend this is an easy exit." Emma sensed the walls around her father beginning to crack, but she felt exposed, her emotions laid bare. She had dreamed of this moment, and yet here she was, stuck in a painful limbo, forced to confront their shared history with an uninvited audience. "Can you give us a moment?" her father asked Jake, urgency creeping into his voice. "Sure," Jake replied, retreating a few steps but still within earshot. "But I'm not leaving until I hear this." The corridor was suddenly heavy with unspoken words. Emma looked at her father, his facade cracking more and more. "What do you want from me, Emma?" he asked, his voice shaking slightly. "I don't want anything. I need you to understand what it's been like without you." The words tumbled out before she could process them. "I spent my whole life wondering why you left, why I wasn't enough to keep you. I waited for this moment for so long, and I just want to know if you care. If you want me to be a part of your life now." In those fragile moments, she saw a flicker of something deeper in his eyes, regret, perhaps. Or fear of the unknown. His jaw tightened again, and she wondered if he was about to turn away. But instead, he stepped closer. "I didn't know how to be a father," he finally admitted, his voice low, almost breaking. "I'm sorry, Emma. I didn't think it would hurt you like this. I was so caught up in my own world. Then help me understand what happened," she urged, all that pent-up emotion churning inside her. "Please. Before we lose this chance." The corridor felt still, like the world outside had paused, awaiting his next words. Would he finally give her the answer she had longed for? But before he could respond, Jake cleared his throat, disruption slicing through the charged atmosphere. "You know, some things are best shared where the group isn't listening in," he advised, casting a sideways glance at the gathering guests just beyond the door. As her father hesitated, Emma's heart sank. Would he retreat again? Or worse, would he share this moment with someone who had no idea how much it meant? She reached for his hand, desperately hoping he would meet her halfway. "Let us go outside," he said, glancing urgently at Jake before turning back to Emma. "I'll explain everything." But as they stepped towards the exit, Emma's heart filled with a mixture of hope and dread. Could one conversation change everything? Or was she about to uncover more pain buried deep beneath the surface? The door swung open, revealing the world beyond, buzzing with laughter and music, and Emma couldn't help but wonder if stepping into that space would trap them in more silence than she could bear. As they stepped outside, the cool evening air washed over Emma, almost refreshing but heightened with anxiety. The soft glow from the twinkling string lights above flickered, and their laughter faded with each step she took away from the party. The patio was quiet, the sounds of a bustling celebration muted by the cluster of trees lining the space. Emma turned to her father, searching his face for the words he'd been holding back. "Why did you really leave?" The question hung in the space between them, so heavy it felt like it could push them both back. Her father hesitated. "It was complicated," he finally said, his voice thick, as if he were wrestling with the memories. "Your mother, she was everything. But then, things got hard. Instead of fighting through it, I ran. I thought it would be better for everyone." "Better for you," Emma corrected, her voice sharper than she intended. "What about me? What about the years I spent waiting for a call from the dad I barely knew existed?" He winced, and she caught the flicker of pain in his eyes. "I never meant to hurt you. I thought being away would allow you to find the life you deserved without my shadow looming over you. You thought wrong." She could feel her heart thundering. "Instead, I ended up feeling like I was not enough for you to stick around." Her father's expression softened, and he took a step closer, rubbing the back of his neck as if he needed to relieve the tension there. "I was just a scared kid myself. I didn't know how to handle being a dad. I thought I was doing you a favor. By disappearing." Emma felt anger and hurt bubbling inside her. "By leaving me to question if I ever mattered?" "Emma, please no. You don't get to say please like this. Is as easy as asking for a second chance." Tears brimmed in her eyes, unbidden. "This isn't some simple fix. Every birthday, every holiday, I wondered where you were. I tried to find pieces of you in memories that weren't mine." He took a moment, breathing in deeply. I know that I can't change the past," he said finally. "What I can do now is try to make things right. I want to be in your life if you'll let me." Emma's heart raced. Could she really let him in after all this time? Just when she thought they might be connecting, doubt crept back. But how can I trust you? How do I know you won't disappear again? I understand how difficult this is. But I'm here now. I want to show you. I want to prove to you that I care, he implored, desperation creeping into his voice. Let us take it one step at a time. She looked into his eyes, searching for sincerity. But a tangle of emotions coursed through her. Was she willing to take that leap? To open a door that had been firmly shut for so long? And what if it hurts again? I promise I won't hurt you again, he said, his voice stronger, steadier. I can't undo my mistakes, but I can learn from them. The silence that followed swelled with weighty possibilities. Emma could feel the cool breeze wrap around her, mingling with the warmth lingering between them. It felt like a leap into unknown waters, exhilarating yet frightening. Just one chance, she whispered, finally allowing her gaze to soften. But if you mess this up, I'll walk away. His face broke into a hopeful smile, relief washing over him. One chance. I can work with that. But as she began to feel the first inklings of hope sparking between them, a sudden commotion erupted from the party. An agitated shout cut through the air, pulling them both back to reality. Emma! Someone called. You need to see this. Her heart dropped. What now? What awaited her in the throbbing atmosphere they had just left? She turned to her father, uncertainty flooding back. Would this bring them closer? Or tear them apart once more? Emma felt a knot tighten in her stomach as she turned away from her father. The urgency of the call pulled at her, demanding her attention. It was hard to shake off the emotions swirling between them, the fragile thread they had just begun to weave together. But she couldn't ignore the frantic tone echoing in her mind. Who is it? Her father asked, glancing back towards the patio, eyes wide with concern. I don't know, Emma admitted, her voice trembling slightly. But it sounded serious. As they hurried back towards the party, the laughter and music seemed to crescendo, each note of celebration clashing sharply with her anxious thoughts. What could possibly be happening? Emma's heart quickened, beating against her ribs like a caged bird desperate to escape. When they reached the crowd, she spotted her friend Sarah, her face pale against the soft glow of the string lights. Emma! She shouted, eyes wide. You need to see this. It's about Jenna. Emma's breath caught in her throat. Jenna, her younger sister, had been the center of her world. What happened? Is she okay? Just come. Sarah urged, pulling Emma through the throng of partygoers. Emma glanced back at her father, whose look of uncertainty mirrored her own gut feeling unease. They reached Jenna, who sat on the grass, her usual spark dimmed. She looked up, eyes wet, clutching something tightly in her hands. Emma knelt beside her, feeling the sobering weight of worry sink into her chest. What's wrong? Emma asked, brushing a strand of hair off Jenna's forehead. Jenna's voice broke as she spoke. I found this. She opened her hands to reveal a small, crumpled piece of paper. The edges were worn, the ink smudged, but the familiar logos and handwriting made Emma's heart drop. It was a letter addressed to their mother from someone named Michael, detailing a life insurance policy from years ago. Who's Michael? Emma interjected, panic creeping into her words. And why do you have this? It was in the attic. I just thought I'd go looking for some stuff for our presentation, Jenna said, tears spilling down her cheeks. But I found this instead. Mom never talked about him. What if he was important? What if? Don't think like that, Emma interrupted, trying to keep her voice steady as anger simmered under her skin. Mom wouldn't have hidden things like this from us. But even as she said it, Emma's mind raced with possibilities. What did this mean? There were pieces of their past she didn't understand, shadows hanging over their family, and the more she thought about it, the more chilling her uncertainty felt. Her father stepped closer, crouching down beside them. Is everything all right? His voice was cautious but swelled with something deeper too, a hint of protective instinct. Jenna sniffled, looking up at him with wide eyes. Do you know who Michael is? What if he is family? The question hung in the air, laden with unspoken implications. Emma turned to her father, half expecting him to offer an explanation, but instead, his face went ashen. Let me see that, he said, extending his hand slowly. Emma's heart raced, fear and hope crashing loudly within her. Was this another secret? More layers to peel back in the frail bond they had just begun to build, and then the suffocating weight of drama pressed down. Emma felt the ground shift beneath her, as if she were standing on the edge of an abyss. She held her breath, waiting for the truth that kept slipping just beyond reach. Would this revelation bring them closer, or shatter the fragile connection they just forged? Time slowed, anticipation crackling in the air around them. What had she unearthed, and would the answer set them free or pull them apart? Emma watched as her father's fingers trembled slightly as he took the crumpled paper from Jenna's hands. The moment felt surreal, as if the world around them faded, leaving only the three of them and the heavy silence weighing down their hearts. What if Michael was a ghost from the past, a specter haunting their family's story? Emma mentally ran through the potential scenarios. Could he have been an old lover of her mother's? A family member whose existence had been purposefully concealed? The questions swirled like a tempest in her mind. Her father carefully smoothed the letter out, his eyes scanning the faded ink. Where did you find this? He asked quietly, his voice steady but strained. In the attic, Jenna replied, her voice small and shaky. I didn't mean to. I just thought it might have something useful for our poster. Why didn't you tell me you were going through things? Their father replied, his tone shifting between condescension and concern. I didn't think it was a big deal, Jenna whispered, looking small next to their father's towering presence. Emma saw her sister shrink under the weight of his words, and something stirred deep within her. Dad, stop, she interjected, feeling the familiar mix of protectiveness and anger. He was unraveling a fragile moment, one where they all needed to listen and support each other. Jenna's eyes darted between them, and Emma could see the confusion and fear writhe beneath the surface. Maybe we should just read it together, she suggested, reaching for her father's arm. It might help us understand. With a slow nod, her father refrained from further interrogation. He straightened the paper and started reading aloud. To my beloved, should anything happen to me, know that I cherish our family above all. Emma's heart raced at the sound of their mother's name, a pulse of urgency threading through her. With each word, an unsettling mix of anger and fear coursed through her. Their family wasn't complete, it was composed of fragments of secrets she had never known. When he finished, silence enveloped them like a shroud. This is old, he finally said, taking a deep breath as if coming up for air. It's from years ago. I thought your mom never kept anything from us. Why would she hide it? Jenna's voice barely rose above a whisper. Who was Michael? Maybe she was trying to protect us, Emma said quietly, but even as she spoke, her soul screamed in protest. She didn't want to believe that their mother harboring secrets meant anything good. The thought of her mother being deceptive cut deep. Their father's gaze fell, his hands trembling with the weight of the moment. Some things are better left in the past, he murmured, but the truth of his words felt like an open wound instead of a shield. Could it be that their mother's silence was more harmful than any truth he might have protected them from? Emma felt a rush of determination. She needed to find out more about this Michael. If we don't confront this now, it will always haunt us, she said, steeling herself. We have to talk to Mom about this letter, about everything. Let us not make a rash decision, their father warned, but Emma sensed the shift in his voice. He was conflicted, caught between wanting to shield them and the undeniable notion that ignorance wasn't bliss. I need to know why, Emma insisted, feeling the fierce pulse of resolve beat in her chest. There was no turning back now, the threads of their family tapestry were beginning to unravel, revealing a darker design, and as they sat there, suspended in uncertainty, Emma realized that this revelation had the power to either shatter or mend the bonds between them. Where would this new path take them? As questions swirled in her mind, she held tightly to the hope that, whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. But Emma knew that finding the answers would mean confronting fears they had never acknowledged. Would the truth bind them closer or tear them apart? The stage was set for the next act of their family's unfolding story, and she had no idea what part she would play. The room felt heavy, a suffocating mix of uncertainty and raw emotion. Emma glanced between her father and Jenna, watching the way they each handled the weight of the moment. Her father, a man who seemed so strong and infallible, was now a portrait of vulnerability. Jenna, the younger sister always looking for approval, was trembling like a leaf in the wind. Emma felt it too, the fragility of their family unit, the decades of trust now sitting on a wobbly pedestal. "Dad, if we don't ask Mom about this, what happens next?" Emma felt fire in her chest, a clarion call to action. "Are we just supposed to pretend we didn't find anything? Like this letter doesn't exist?" He looked at her, as if she had just punched him in the gut. "You know this could change everything," he finally said, his voice thick. It was the first time she'd heard trepidation laced into his words. But Emma felt no hesitation, only fierce determination. "Yes, and doesn't it deserve our attention?" Jenna chimed in, her voice firmer now. "We can't keep going on like this, living in the shadows of things we don't understand." Her father rubbed his forehead, his usual habit when he was deep in thought. Emma knew he was struggling between what he believed was best for them and the undeniable truth that their mother had kept secrets buried. "Maybe we need to wait until the right time," he said, but even his own voice felt weak against the storm of emotions swirling around them. "What's the right time?" Emma countered. "If we wait too long, we might lose our chance to understand. What if these answers are the key to knowing Mom better? What if they change how we see her? Or how we see ourselves?" Jenna added. Silence folded around them, and Emma could see the flicker of defeat in her father's eyes. It was as if he realized he could no longer protect them from the truth. "Fine," he finally relented, a touch of exasperation threading through his words. "But promise me we'll be careful. This isn't just about digging up dirt. It's about our family, and sometimes families should face the tough stuff together," Emma interrupted, her heart racing as a new idea took root. "Can we sit down at dinner tonight? All of us, together? It might be better to talk over a meal. It's more relaxed, and we can all share our feelings." "Dinner? With Mom?" Jenna's eyes lit up, an unexpected flicker of hope. What if she senses something off? What if she wants to talk? "Then we'll ask the questions," Emma assured her. "We'll navigate this as a family, but we need to start somewhere." As their father nodded slowly, Emma felt a weight begin to lift. They were at the precipice of something life-changing, not just regarding Michael, but about their entire family dynamic. And somehow, as the burden began to shift, her protective instincts expanded to include the very essence of who they were as a family. With the tension still thick in the air, Jenna asked, "Can we also talk about the things we love about her? Because I think that matters too." "Yes," Emma replied proudly. "Let us remind everyone that love is still the foundation." Jenna smiled, and Emma felt a flicker of warmth in her heart. "Okay, let us make tonight about connection. About honesty." They began to prepare for the evening. Emma felt a nervous energy churn within her, pushing her forward into the unknown. This wasn't just a meal, it was a potential turning point. Would their mother be ready to face the past? Later, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Emma couldn't shake the foreboding excitement. It was a different sort of anticipation, one that made her heart pound. Whatever revelations awaited them were buried deep, just like that letter, and she was determined to unearth the truths that lay beneath. What would their mother reveal when she saw the faces of her children, recognizing the love woven through the unraveling? Emma took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come, knowing full well that families can only grow stronger by facing their shadows. She just hoped their love could withstand the light. The door swung open, and their mother stepped inside, her warm smile instantly disarming. But today, Emma was ready to look a little deeper. What truth would unfold over dinner? As the familiar scent of her mother's home-cooked spaghetti filled the air, Emma felt a sudden wave of nostalgia wash over her. It was a smell that had comforted her throughout her childhood, a scent now mixed with the heavy chaos swirling in her heart. She caught a glimpse of her mother, her hands moving rhythmically as she stirred the steaming pot on the stove, blissfully unaware of the storm that was brewing beneath their shared roof. "Hey, honey. You're just in time." Her mother called out, her voice bright and inviting. "Dinner will be ready in a few minutes." "Perfect," Jenna said, bouncing into the kitchen and planting herself next to their mother, reaching for a spoon to taste the sauce. Emma watched the interactions, every laugh and light-hearted jab feeling fraught with unspoken tension. "Mom, do you want any help?" Emma finally ventured, stepping closer. "Just stir that for me, would you?" Her mother replied. "I can't believe how soon the school year is starting. It's always a whirlwind, isn't it?" As her mother chatted about Jenna's upcoming school projects, Emma felt anxiety creeping in, knotting her stomach. The anticipation of the dinner conversation loomed like an unwelcome guest, reminding her that they were here to break new ground or perhaps shatter the facade that had so carefully protected their family. Would their mother's smile falter when they mentioned the letter? Would she be willing to let them in? "Dinner time," her father announced, his voice booming through the cramped space. Emma traded her spoon for a serving plate, instinctively taking charge as if despite everything, it was her duty to ensure the evening felt normal. As they gathered around the table, Emma couldn't help but observe her mother, the way her hands fidgeted with the hem of her apron. She sliced into the crusty bread, but the way she pulled each piece apart seemed almost hesitant. Emma shot Jenna a glance, and they both shared a deep breath. "Okay, before we dig in," Emma started, feeling embers of courage ignite within her. "We wanted to talk about something important." Her father frowned slightly, tension creeping back into his posture. "Now? During dinner?" "Yes, Dad. We thought this could be the best time." Emma met her mother's gaze, willing her heart rate to slow. "Mom, we found a letter, and..." At the mention of the letter, her mother froze, her fork hovering above her plate. Her smile faltered, and the color drained slightly from her cheeks. "I think we need to talk about things that matter to us," Emma pushed on, her voice firm but laced with warmth. "About family, honesty, and love." The silence that fell over the table was thick with uncertainty. Jenna looked at Emma encouragedly, but her mother's eyes wandered away, lost somewhere between memory and regret. Finally, her mother broke the stillness. "What kind of love?" She paused, squeezing her eyes shut as if bracing against a wave of emotion. "I didn't think you'd find out about that." Her father leaned forward, his brow furrowing deeper. "What do you mean, that?" Emma could feel the weight of the moment, the energy of vulnerability shifting to a revelation that could change everything. The dinner table felt like a stage, and they were all players caught in a story they hadn't fully understood until now, but before her mother could answer, the doorbell rang, slicing through their collective tension like a knife. "Who could that be?" her father muttered, rising from the table. Emma exchanged a nervous glance with Jenna, anticipation crackling in the air. They were all on the edge, moments away from answers, but now they faced yet another interruption. "Should I get it?" Emma asked, her heart racing. "Yes, please," her father said, urgency in his tone. As Emma moved toward the door, she could feel the gravity building. Would this new arrival hold answers? Would they help unravel everything, or would they derail the fragile connection beginning to form? She hesitated, hand on the doorknob, feeling the weight of family history pressing against her. Taking a deep breath, she turned the handle, ready to face whatever or whoever lay beyond the threshold. And just as she did, one question echoed in her mind: what secrets was she about to unveil? Emma opened the door slowly, her heart hammering in her chest. Standing on the porch was a figure she hadn't expected. A woman, slightly older than Emma, with chestnut hair, wearing a bright yellow sundress that danced in the evening breeze. Her eyes were wide and curious, as if she had just walked out of a storybook. "Hi. I'm Lucy," the woman said with a smile that was both warm and unsettling. "I'm looking for, well, potentially for you." "Me?" Emma blinked, taken off guard. "Why?" Behind Lucy, the sun cast a golden hue, making everything feel surreal. A part of Emma's mind raced through the possibilities. Who was this woman? Was she a friend of Mom's? An old neighbor? Yes. "Sorry to interrupt your dinner, but I need to talk to your mom," Lucy said, glancing over her shoulder, as though someone was following her. "It's important." Emma glanced back at the table, where her family sat in suspended animation, unsure whether to stay or go. She stepped outside, closing the door softly behind her. "This is a little strange," she admitted, trying to decipher the woman's intent. "What do you need to talk about?" "I know your family might be going through a tough time, and I was hoping to clarify some things." Lucy took a step closer, lowering her voice. "You see, I got a letter too." Emma's heart quickened. Another letter? What kind of connection could this stranger have with her family? Her mind was racing, piecing together fragments of abrupt revelations. "Letter? What letter do you mean?" she asked, struggling to keep the tremor from her voice. "The one your mom received about a month ago. About your father." Lucy's words felt like rocks thrown into still water, sending ripples of confusion through Emma. Before Emma could respond, Lucy's expression shifted as someone approached from the shadows. Emma turned, heart sinking. It was a tall man, handsome but worn, his eyes filled with a mix of determination and regret. "Lucy," he said, his voice stern yet gentle. "We shouldn't be here." Emma's brows knitted together. "Who are you?" It's complicated," he replied, his gaze darting between Emma and Lucy, as if trying to assess the situation. "What I can say is that this involves family matters of identity that could change everything you know." Empowered by this wild turn of events, Emma fought to maintain her composure. "Why are you here? Are you really connected to my dad?" "What do you mean?" "Please, let us talk somewhere quiet." "Your family deserves to know the truth," he urged. Every fiber of Emma's being begged her to shut down, to push them away. But this was the moment, wasn't it? The moment she had hoped for, where all the questions could unravel. "Okay," she said finally, her voice steadier than she felt. "Come with me." Turning back toward the house, she felt a strange mix of hope and dread swelling within her. The door felt heavy as she grasped the handle again. Would her family welcome more secrets, or would this turn into a firestorm of revelation? As she stepped inside, Lucy and the man followed, closing the door behind them with a sound that felt like it sealed fates not yet understood. Emma took a deep breath, glancing at her family's expectant faces. "Mom, Dad, there's someone here who has something to tell you, something about the letter." An electric silence fell over the room, and every eye turned toward the newcomers. What secrets had just stepped into their home, and what changes were destined to follow? Emma's heart thundered, anticipation buzzing in the air as Lucy and the man stood at the threshold of unraveling their family's hidden past. The tension thickened, pressing in like a heavy blanket. "Mom, Dad, this is Lucy," and she began, but her throat felt tight, the gravity of their arrival leaving her momentarily speechless. "Is everything all right, Emma?" her father asked, brows furrowed, concern lacing his tone. The man stepped forward, his voice steady yet tinged with urgency. "I know it might seem strange, but I'm here because I have information you should hear. About Michael." The mention of the name sent shockwaves through the room. Every pair of eyes shifted in disbelief. Emma's heart raced. This was the moment they had been bracing for, the answers that could reshape everything. "Michael?" her mother echoed, her voice a thin whisper, color draining from her face. Emma watched the realization dawn on her, anxiety mingling with an unexpected glint of hope. Yes, Lucy jumped in, her tone sympathetic yet firm. You've kept secrets from your girls, and it's time to unveil the whole truth. Secrets? Her father stiffened, a mix of anger and bewilderment flickering in his eyes. What secrets are you speaking of? Lucy took a deep breath, her gaze softening. Michael isn't just a name on a letter. He was a crucial part of your past, and understanding who he was can explain so much about your family dynamic. Emma's mother shifted uncomfortably, the slight tremor in her hands betraying the calm demeanor she had displayed moments ago. This isn't how I wanted to handle this, she murmured, as if the mere mention of Michael had cracked an impenetrable surface. Then it's time to stop handling it, Emma replied, stepping closer, emboldened. It's time to face whatever was hidden. We've gone too long without knowing. Everyone shifted, the weight of the moment pressing down on them. Her father glanced at her mother, eyes searching for confirmation. Is it true? Do you know who Michael is? Her mother looked away, eyes glistening, and Emma felt a wave of empathy. The woman before her had always been the pillar of strength, but vulnerability now washed over her like a tide. I didn't want to hurt you, any of you. When Michael stepped into our lives, it brought chaos and confusion. I wanted to protect you. But protecting us by lying? Emma's voice cracked under the weight of her emotions. It only made us feel like we didn't matter. Her mother hesitated, the flicker of shame painting her features as she wrestled with her emotions. I thought I could manage it, that you could find a better life without all this. I wanted to spare you, but we deserve to know the truth. Emma gently insisted, giving her mother the opportunity to mend the fracture. The man, silent until now, stepped in again. I'm here to support you through this. I know what it's like to be on the other side, to find yourself in a tangled web of family secrets. Emma looked at him, unsure how to process his words. Who are you, exactly? I'm Michael's brother. His voice was calm, but the admission hung in the air like a thundercloud. Gasps echoed in the room. Brother? Her father repeated, bewilderment clearly written on his face. Yes. Our parents were involved in a complicated past, one your mother thought she could shield from you. But the reality is there, and it's only fair you know who's part of your story. Emma felt her breath catch. What do you mean? Was he family? Yes, blood family. But also tangled in choices that altered the course of the rest of your lives. Her mother's gaze fixed on the floor, tears streaming down her cheeks. I thought I could keep you safe from the hurt that stems from the past. But instead, I left you in the dark. What happened, Mom? Jenna's small voice broke, reaching across the space with a tender request for truth. With heavy eyes, their mother finally spoke. Michael was a part of a tumultuous time in my life, one I believed could remain hidden. I was young and scared. And yes, my decisions were wrong, but they were out of fear for you. Lucy stepped closer to her mother, the connection palpable. It's time to break the chains of secrecy. The past does not define who you are, but it can guide you toward healing. And facing it together is the key. Together, Emma echoed, feeling the stirrings of newfound strength grow in her chest. Are you saying we're not alone in this? Jenna ventured, glancing between the newcomers and her mother with wide eyes. No, Lucy confirmed, her warmth a balm in the chilly atmosphere. You're a family, and families work best when they face things hand in hand. With the echoes of hope threading among them, Emma took her mother's hand, squeezing it gently. If we can confront this, we can mend it, together. Let us face this as a family. As they gathered closely, a newfound resolve filled the room. Each face turned toward each other, hearts beating as one. It was a moment of transformation, a choice to unearth old fears and embrace what lay ahead. Emma saw determination flicker in her family's eyes. They would navigate this storm together, one grounding truth at a time. A quiet understanding settled between them. The truth would illuminate their past and shape their future. And somehow, through the labyrinth of darkened secrets, a brighter path awaited. They were ready to step forward together, the weight of revelation now balanced between love and understanding. Emma felt tears of joy prick her eyes as she realized that this moment marked not just the end of silence, but the beginning of a stronger bond amongst them. "Let us uncover the truth," she whispered, and as they stepped toward that light, they did it as a family bound not by secrets, but by love and resilience they had unearthed. You need to subscribe now to catch this emotional journey unfold, because this is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, it makes a real difference. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this incredible transformation. All expressions matter. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who could use some love and inspiration in their lives. Together, let us spread this story of hope and healing.